Hello everyone, welcome back to Smart Vehicle webinar by EverFocus. My name is Zhi-Ying, your host of the day. EverFocus was established in 1995 and it has been a leading expert in security systems for over 25 years. What people may not know is that recently EverFocus has expanded its knowledge base towards a new field, that of industrial PC manufacturing. EverFocus provides a wide variety of total solutions in various vertical markets such as smart city, smart retail, smart surveillance, and today's focus, smart vehicle. We're glad to be joined today by Zhang Zhuang, CEO of EverFocus USA, and Zhou Guo, our project manager.
Thank you, Zhi. And then, hi, my name is John, President and CEO of EverFocus USA. So before we start, we'd like to share a brief video clip. First of all, EverFocus is also Intel. We're within the Intel Partner Alliance, and then we're a Gold-tier member of the IPA Alliance, and we're both very grateful and honored to be part of the Intel Partner Alliance. And then, so before I start, I'd like to share a video clip and with the opening from Intel, kind of highlighting the technology collaboration we have with them.
Hello everyone, and a warm welcome. My name is Sharma. I'm the Global General Manager for Smart Cities and Transportation at Intel. Before I get started, I must acknowledge that it has been an incredibly hard year for all of us. And as we come to the other side of this crisis, there are parts of the world still struggling with the COVID-19 impact. Our heart goes out to everyone who has been impacted. I hope and pray everyone, including your families, are staying safe. Over the next few minutes, I will share with you why we at Intel and our partners like EverFocus are incredibly excited about the possibilities in smart cities and intelligent transportation infrastructure, and how the work we are doing together will ultimately transform the way we live in these cities. If you look at the global cities and transportation landscape, we have 33 megacities. These are cities with 10 million inhabitants or more, 4,000 other cities, 2.5 million towns. And what's connecting these cities and the people within them are all the different modes of transportation, from 25,000 planes to 246 million commercial vehicles to 17 million buses, 1.4 billion cars, 50,000 ships, cruise ships, trade and other kind of applications through marine and ports, and 1.38 million kilometers of railway track connecting people within the cities and across the cities. That's pretty phenomenal if you look at it from a global perspective. But this is a bit of a snapshot in time today, and this urbanization will continue, although we probably saw a bit of pause with COVID-19 impact. By 2030, it is projected we'll have 41 megacities, and the demand for urban mobility is going to grow 260% compared to what it is today. And it is very clear that the transportation infrastructure, including the road infrastructure, needs to evolve to be able to keep up with this demand. We talked about the number of cities, we talked about the people in them. Ultimately, all these people, all these systems are going to create an incredible amount of data. I have some stats to share with you. In this year, more than 59 zettabytes of data will be created, captured, stored, and consumed. And IoT will represent almost 11% of the global economy by 2025. So to be able to handle all this data and to support this incredible pace of urbanization, we need to think differently. And so we've been asking ourselves, how do we convert the work we're doing into specific use cases and the benefit to the consumer? We did a study together with an outside research firm that showcased how by implementing these solutions, we can save citizens a lot of time every year. Almost 60 hours that you can save by not spending as much time waiting in the traffic, or trying to find parking. Almost 35 hours by having public safety and critical infrastructure service you in a more effective way. And you have some examples on the right-hand side. Everything you see in yellow box is transportation related, from future connected autonomous vehicles to intelligent transit systems and smart roadways today. And then you have public safety infrastructure, from video cameras to other similar solutions that can help make people feel safe, but also be safe. Sustainability is another topic that's increasingly coming up with this ever-burdening infrastructure. COVID-19 changed a lot of the conversations. Many things that our cities were talking about as optional or aspirational are suddenly becoming fundamental and critical to reopening. From contact tracing to touchless interaction for things like fare purchase at a public transit station, keyless entry, face mask detection, public messaging around encouraging social distancing and practicing safe things as far as COVID-19 mitigation is concerned. All of these are examples of how Intel and our partner solutions are helping cities reopen globally. So what it really is our vision? If I can summarize it, we have a data-centric vision, which means we want to have open data platforms available to customers, our direct customers, and through them are the end users. We want to make sure that we are providing proven solutions that are custom built for IoT, are deployable, scalable, and can be done as part of repeat deployments. And then what we are finding is at the edge where the action is, whether it's a camera or a traffic sensor or parking monitor, that is really where you need more workload convergence and utilization of the intelligence that's available. And so we are bringing everything from high performance compute to vision AI inference at the edge to 5G connectivity to pull it all together and make sense of this data and ultimately drive insights and actions. So our vision really starts, as I summarize, with the citizen benefits on all these use cases: transportation, buildings, public safety, environment, public health, and government services. And then we partner with select cities globally through our partners and sometimes directly to look at the policy, governance, and financing situation. And ultimately, as a last step, then we say, what is it that we have in our assets portfolio, from edge to the network to the cloud, that we can help our partners build solutions on top of? My team and I focus on 5 key segments, from road infrastructure to fleet management to ships and ports to airports to trains. And without going into all the details, road infrastructure is all about things like electronic toll control, smart traffic intersection, parking. Fleet management helps both the commercial fleet operators as well as the cities manage their fleet of vehicles more efficiently with things like driver training, cargo management, predictive maintenance as the top use cases. As the global trade is coming back, the ships and ports is a big focus. Digitization, how do we help those ports become more efficient, more safe? How do we help them become more automated? That's the focus. Airports obviously were significantly impacted due to the lack of travel during COVID. But now as flights are opening up, as more people are willing to travel for business, for leisure, we are finding solutions that help the entire passenger experience, from check-in to waiting at the gate for the flight to in-flight safety to finally the disembarkment and how you get to wherever you need to get to. Trains continues to be a big part of the focus and investment as part of the public transit infrastructure in many parts of the world. Certainly in Asia and in Europe, we are seeing a lot of it. And increasingly in the US as well, there's a big focus on train infrastructure that's coming up as part of the public-private partnership. So across these use cases, we have partners or partnership with EverFocus and solutions that apply. I just want to take a moment to thank EverFocus as a partner for driving impact together with us. And here are some examples of use cases from intelligent community that's focused on public safety. You can see some examples of our joint products, to more intelligent infrastructure from bus stop and shelter monitoring in a city that leverages some of our high-end as well as mid and low-end compute. To the right top, where we have examples of a smart port or a smart harbor and a private 5G network that can be operated in that space. And there are other AI scenarios, including people counting for public transit, for train stations, and so on, that we're doing together. So thank you, EverFocus, as a partner. And I'm very excited about where this partnership will go in the coming years, especially as the economy starts opening up and there's a renewed focus on digitization of infrastructure and how fundamental and critical it is to our way we live. I would like to leave you with how we think about some of these mega projects with partners, because these are complex. So I encourage our partners to think big, not just smarter cities from a pure technology perspective, but better cities for our citizens. But because this stuff is so complex, we have to start small and be very specific. That's how we build credibility. That's how we build momentum. And once we have that, then we iterate quickly, we move fast, we adjust. So thank you once again for joining us today. And I'm glad you are here to join us in the journey towards the future, not just in experiencing it, but in defining, shaping, and making it happen. Thank you once again.
When we think about smart vehicle solution, it's hard to ignore the announcement coming out of the White House at the beginning of 2021. US President Joe Biden has announced that the entire US federal fleet will be replaced with electric vehicles made in the United States. Here I quote, "The federal government also owns an enormous fleet of vehicles, which we're going to replace with clean electric vehicles made right here in America by American workers." We can probably interpret that as the growth of electric vehicles in the United States transportation market is due to the strategy of revitalizing the auto industry, localizing vehicle parts, transforming the renewable energy sector, and the upgrade national security protection. So John, what's your observation regarding the growing electric vehicle market and smart transportation?
From our understanding, that's definitely ongoing trend in the market right now. And then, so especially like you just mentioned earlier, based on the policy and the strategy from Biden administration, we're definitely seeing from the federal level to the local government level, they're definitely promoting the use of electric vehicle. And in addition to that, that's where we're seeing the demand, upcoming demand of making the vehicle more intelligent. And I believe that's where EverFocus are getting more and more inquiry around that. Especially like previously we have a product around like mobile DVR that's purposefully designed for fleet management. And then in this case, it actually help further deploy into the smart transportation and then also the, I would say, intelligent transportation deployment, such as some of the project we have with city government, like for intelligent bus transportation, and then in terms of, and also the fleet deployment management system. So that's those are some of the success that we're finding, and you because. Originally, when we first started out with the mobile DVR design, that was actually designed more towards specialty vehicles, such as like garbage truck, or like or maybe like for like a specialty vehicle working at harbor or port, and then and in more extreme condition, which kind of aligns to the introduction you made for us, like why we're kind of setting our foot into the industrial PC portion, because industrial PC, the nature of industrial PC is for purpose-built vertical market use. So which that's kind of where we merit the merit of both field into the smart vehicle solution. And so currently our deployment, we have not only in the specialty vehicles, like I mentioned, like garbage truck, and then also I'll say also for school bus as well, school bus. And school bus, and also some of in some other part of the world, there's also the autonomous driving vehicle. So and also another trending topic that everybody has been talking about is AI, and then that's also a solution which we very thanks to Intel's technology that really help us with the AI, incorporating the AI function into our mobile DVR to enable not only the smart the smart vehicle deployment, but then we are able to enable some of the AI function which enhance the kind of the service level of the vehicle overall.
I see, thank you. So, Joe, can you tell us more about the EIVP that John just mentioned? Like, for example, we used it in the project of bus.
All right. One of our systems, the EIVP 1300, is using Intel Atom CPU, and this model was released last year in April. We have been using these models for our customers, and the application is about the electric vehicles. And currently, our customers is using this model as a health monitoring system to have an eye on the mechanical parts inside the vehicle to keep the reliability and competence levels. With our systems, status data like the health status for the electrical parts can be gathered and stored in the system via campus interfaces and further sent to control center by a wireless network like 4G or Wi-Fi. And then warn the drivers to repair or change the component parts inside the vehicles. This solution is helpful for the vehicles to prevent from the aging effects within the life cycle.
I see. So how did, according to both of you, like how did customers find EverFocus solution a good fit to their application use?
Well, first, it must be over 20 years experience in the transportation market, especially the surveillance industry. As a solution provider, we provide end-to-end solutions, including the hardware and software products, ranging from the front-end cameras, DVRs and VRs, to the back-end fleet management systems. In the past, we mainly produced ARM-based systems, but nowadays, since everything has to be connected, integrated, or getting smarter, we need more powerful and higher performance systems to fit into our customers' applications. And this is the reason why we launched the EIVP series models, which stands for EverFocus Intel Video Platform using Intel ingredients. And that's what the customers see and reach out to us. And the second must be the integration and the customization capability. From the day we started working with our customers, we have been receiving different requirements, including the PCB levels, mechanical, and software. Our hardware engineers are able to do the schematic design, and the software engineers are experienced with system integration. By knowing that we have both hardware and software capabilities, our customers are really happy and quite satisfied working with us.
Yeah, and just a couple points I'd like to add to that. So, like, I think in terms of aside from just the technology itself, it's more I'll say it's more contributed to by our approach. Like, because we don't we take a step further instead of just being a general purpose security device company. So we kind of look into the workflow, especially in this particular case, like smart vehicle application use. We really look into each different application scenario in terms of what is the use case requirement, and which translates into the business and functional requirement, and let alone turn into the technical requirement for the product. So in a sense, like, together with the customization capability that Joe just mentioned, like, and then also because we're kind of privileged in the sense that we both have hardware design capability as well as software design capability. So in which case we can tailor design not only the hardware equipment based on the actual application use, and then also the technical requirement that's derived from the process. At the same time, based on the use case scenario, we can also modify the central management system to really make it a turnkey, smart security solution that's purpose-built for the smart vehicle solution. And I think that's where, because we're putting ourselves in our customers' shoes, and they really think in terms of how they will be using it, and that's really how we design our products. So a lot of time that's where our customer finds it convenient to use our solution, because it's almost like a lot of requirements are pre-built and built out for them. And then the solution itself actually help with enable the proactive management for the fleet management scenario, which nowadays I'll say ever since Intel started the IoT discussion. I remember back in 2004, like, where the technology has continuously progressing so that we're no longer reactive. We can actually be proactive. Like for example, for the vehicle aging monitoring, we can actually look at the parts instead of finding out, instead of finding out that the vehicle has broken down, from after they call the AAA service or after they call the call center. If we have a proactive management system, we can even prevent this from happening before we deploy a truck or bus before they leave the warehouse or the port. Yeah,
That's true.
I see. So what could be possible challenges that occur in this kind of project, and how could we conquer such obstacles?
Well, for this case, we acknowledge the system's role is to get data from multiple campus interfaces. I'm saying multiple, not just one. Our customers want to have a sling-size mechanical housing with everything in, including the additional boards to support multiple campus interfaces and boards to support the GPS and network functions. And thus, our hardware engineers came out with a solution to provide and support all the functions, and at the same time for the system to bear with the high temperature and vibration impact environment inside the vehicles. That's one challenge. And the second challenge is from the software. Our customers have their own AI software running in our system. During the operation process, they encounter the difficulty on how to get the GPS and implement the GPS data. Since their AI code is using Python, and our software engineers provide share with their experience and provide the know-how, and eventually help the customers solve the problems. And the third is not really a challenge, but it is what we call the value-added service, which is the MCU, microcontroller unit capability. For a system to run smoothly and stably inside a vehicle, a power delay on and delay off capability to be controlled by microcontroller unit is crucial. And EverFocus firmware team is able to design the MCU code to provide a secure boot when vehicle ignition is turned on.
I see. Thank you for the helpful information. Is there anything?
I think just want to highlight. So overall, it's although those are challenges, but that's basically the way we engage business. We position ourselves beyond just being a general purpose security device company, because we understand there are so many different vertical application use. So there's no way, absolutely no way that there's one device that fits all. So which is why our capability of customization, although the customer do see those as challenges, but those to us we welcome those, and because that's what we're here for. We want to provide our value to be able to custom build and tailor make those solutions for the customer. Yeah.
I see. So thanks for sharing. The smart vehicle solution for buses seems also applicable under certain conditions. For example, in response to the COVID pandemic, functions like crowd density control and real-time people counting can help with maintaining social distancing guidelines.
Mm-hmm. So I guess overall the intention for the smart the smart public transportation management system or solution per se that I mentioned earlier. The original intention was to in response. It was an inquiry we received from the local city government that and also from the private sector that they're looking for a solution that can help in response to the current pandemic situation, especially right now due to the pandemic. The crowd control or the crowd density become a very sensitive subject that we do need to have a clear idea on, because so we can prevent further community infection. So that's basically where this intelligent public transportation solution came from, and in order to deploy this, before we start looking into this solution, we already have our solution in different deployed in the past. Deployed in, for example, buses like school bus or other public transportation And I'll say thanks a lot to the kind of the technology involvement, like that, especially from Intel, enable the AI function. We were able to deploy our mobile security solution inside the vehicle as well as in the bus station. And in addition to that, we also have our data center that's built up in the central management station. So that way we can actually establish an infrastructure and network to really provide real-time communication from the vehicle and then to the central management system. Yet at the same time, the purpose-built mobile security solution that's deployed on the bus itself, they actually can leverage some of the important, commonly used AI function that has been leveraged a lot these days. Like for example, people counting, geofencing. Just looking at these two functions together, we are able to identify an area where a kind of safety area, the area where we do the people counting, and then based on the city government guideline, if the crowd density is over a certain range, then it will trigger an alarm and send it back to the central management system. And whereas they will and the way I'll say that, kind of to summarize the rationale, like how it's done, we are providing the kind of the people counting both in the bus itself as well as in the bus station, because if the bus is full and then the upcoming bus station also have a lot of people, that's where we need to be able to proactively inform, kind of notify the bus to maybe either continue moving on to the next station because you are already at your maximum loading capacity, and then we need to send a new vehicle, new bus to pick up the passengers that's in the current station. So in order to achieve that, we also need to establish our security solution in the bus station itself. So using the sensor to pick up to determine the crowd density and to be able to determine whether the density level it has go over the warning level, and then so that way the deployment center, they can proactively and also timely deploy the bus to support the route, to make sure the route is not interrupted, and make sure that people are still getting on the buses, and without having to create the concern on the social distancing.
Thank you for the insight. So you both emphasized the assistance of AI functions such as crowd density control, real-time people counting, and can you tell us more about AI solution from EverFocus?
As you mentioned, our Turnkey security AI solution can run on both x86 and ARM-based platforms supporting Ubuntu 18.04. It's designed to be compatible with other companies' security equipment as well. One thing I would like to mention is about the AI function. For our EIPP series models, we use Intel OpenVINO AI models plus our own algorithm to develop the first two proof of concept AI models. They are driver fatigue and distraction monitoring and blind spot monitoring. The driver fatigue and distraction monitoring can track a driver's facial attribute, including eyes, mouth, and head movement, for signs to recognize whether a driver is fatigued or distracted. And I want the driver to be focused on the road to prevent incidents before they happen. And the blind spot monitoring is able to detect the various moving objects around the vehicle, including the front view, rear view, and side views, and warn the driver for the approaching objects. This model is able to detect various objects like pedestrians and two-wheel vehicles like motorcycles and bicycles, and four-wheel vehicles like a car, truck, van.
So in addition to what Joe has just explained about our intelligent vehicle AI solution, I think one thing that makes the deployment successful and also I would say easy to deploy is because our modular design on the our AI software. Especially right now, there are a lot of existing central management system that's already available in the market. So keep in mind, our AI solution is not does not necessarily have to replace those existing central management system in the market. And a lot of time when we deploy, how we work with them is that we provide our modularized design function to complement what they already have, because every user, some of the users they are already very familiar with a certain brand of central management system. But however, because central management systems are not always written for every single scenario, that's where our turnkey AI solution is modularized. So you can take the module that you need to add on to your central management system, and then the ones you don't need, you don't have to use it. So that's how we position ourselves to really support the intelligent vehicle market.
I see, thank you. So what is the development plan for next generation AI security solution?
Well, now we have several EIVP series models along with the software for the transportation market. Our solution can be applied to various scenarios, including the use cases John just mentioned. Our goal is clear: to bring safety in transportation in AI, and to bring safety driving journey no matter to the drivers, passengers, and pedestrians. With the latest technology, we plan to release our EIVP series models with the 11th generation Intel Core and Celeron processors, the Tiger Lake. We have tried running our software on the Tiger Lake systems, and the performance on both the CPU and GPU is indeed much better than the previous generation. Tiger Lake system is suitable to be used in harsh environment, 5G network, and AI-based applications. By launching the EIVP series models with Tiger Lake, we believe it will take EverFocus to the next level for the entire AIoT industry. And we plan to release our Tiger Lake systems by the end of the second quarter 2021.
Thank you for the insight, Joe. So, John, any closing comment?
So I'm sure that the development in the Internet of Vehicle, like I'll say IOV and the AIoV, like AI Internet of Vehicle, will help with the growth of the smart transportation market, as well as increase the daily market volume, hopefully for all the security solution provider. And then for us, especially, we provide a comprehensive smart vehicle solution, and then along with many other security solutions that can be used in many different vertical market. And then we're driven to drive the best quality and also the very comprehensive local support. And then so we're confident that we will, and that we're definitely driving towards to bring additional value to our customer and to help our partner to be successful, and then to be able to drive the best user experience for the end user as well, to keep our promise for service quality. And thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you.